you don't have to prove you're authentic, you just have to be. And I'll repeat that again. You don't have to prove or keep proving that you're authentic, you just have to be. Let the people witness you. I'm going to talk about the trap of authenticity. And I don't mean the trap of being authentic, but the trap of proving that you are authentic. I've opened LinkedIn for inspiration on the other days to see, what topics can I speak about for NOEMA as preparation. And a lot of the topics I had prepared actually for the NOEMA network or the NOEMA podcast were meant to be a bit more positive, uplifting, but I think I've got too cringed while looking at the LinkedIn feed for a couple of days, and I've noticed this loop of posts, and I don't want to call out people, but it's been particularly for one person has a good following and then was posting posts that, there's this trap of we need to perform, we need to be someone for the likes to keep up now, especially because LinkedIn has changed the algorithm again and it looks so dead. And then they were saying how they need to keep being someone and to keep performing to actually have some traction on LinkedIn. And then in the beginning I thought, this person is authentic. They're mentioning openly about their struggle with this content creation that now we feel a lot of pressure to do in today's society as well. And then the next days it was reposts of posts that this person has already done. And then once again, most recently, this is when I got cringed, was again a post that, this is about the being, and again I am so authentic and I'm trying to be authentic. So almost like mentioning the same posts as before to trying to prove to the audience that he's so authentic. And then I even saw some comments saying, but you're the most authentic person I know. It's kind of the same following of comments that they were in the before post. And then this is when I cringed, because I then thought I went from believing, this person is being authentic, to then a couple of days later thinking, are you authentic or are you just trying to prove that you are authentic? Because when you are truly being yourself and when you really are creating content for the purpose of this is who I am, this is what I believe in, this is what my content stands for, rather than this is who I'm trying to be, this is how I want you to perceive me, and this is how authentic I am, it's quite a different language. And I think if you truly are being authentic, with time your audience will see that, and you don't have to keep proving to them that you are authentic when you truly just are. And the truth is, the more I also became authentic, because I always thought, I'm a very authentic person, but the truth is, the performance was there. Because with my other venture, I realized my energies have been very different. How I, for example, launched Mirad Studios and how I launched NOEMA Network, they're completely different energies. And I will speak to you about that. But I feel that when you know yourself and you know what you're doing, you just have to keep doing it. And on LinkedIn, I'm honestly saying to you, I feel that I am speaking sometimes to the walls, and I'm keep doing it because I know one day it will pay off. And I know that the work I'm doing and the words I'm sharing it almost for myself. I'm sharing it as I'm documenting my journey. I'm sharing it as a point of inspiration because I want to be a leader who does the work and inspires other people. I want to be this kind of leader. So I'm just doing it. And no, it hasn't gained that much traction. And no, I see people commenting always on this type of content that's very, very trendy, that they're trying to so much prove they're authentic. But you see, I noticed the almost inauthenticity of that. And I think with time and the more we speak about it and the more conscious people are becoming about the way they're living, about the way they're leading, this is going to become more apparent who truly is authentic and who's just trying to be. And I spoke before about my personal shift. And my personal shift is not that it has to do much about authenticity in terms of the companies, because both are authentic, but it's more about the performance and the focus. So I've built Mirad Studios. I've been building for 3 years, 3 years and a half. At the time I quit the corporate world and I didn't know much what I was doing, but I had a deep passion and a deep knowing that I am meant to do more and more of things that actually fulfill my own soul and my heart. And I wanted to do things that make an impact. I wanted to have some meaning. So I took my skills, which is, filmmaking, social media, the whole branch of marketing, because this is what I've been doing anyway for a whole decade. And I put it together that I actually can do a business and I want to do a business that does good. So I just need to branch the two together. But it's been a very long journey with Mirad Studios. It felt slower and it was very cautious. It was a journey in silence and isolation while building, and very client focused. And because it was client focused and because it was in a way value focused, it was becoming, not that it was becoming, but it was more performance based, right? Because I am thinking before, even though it's not on purpose, but I am thinking before about my clients. I want to work with people that I believe in the business. And I do. So far, I've been working, and I'm so glad with people that I absolutely admire the work, and I admire what they stand for, and I admire the impact that we're making. And I have, since started Mirad Studios, I've started to say no to projects, to clients, I've put boundaries in, and this is very new and very fresh as a creative. Especially as a creative, you're taught that, take the work, it will lead somewhere. But I am not taking the work. I am taking the work I want to take the work and I believe in. Because anyway, that brand stands for true impact and true, in a way, resonance, but also BS-proof marketing, basically. Don't talk to me about ESG if you're not actually doing it. And the thing is, if you want to improve that aspect, perfectly happy to go into the company and strategize how to improve that, and how to improve the impact. That is not a problem. And I really do feel this is a very much a win, because if I believe in my clients, I obviously want for them to succeed. And it is my win for them to succeed. And I feel this synergy has been going on really well, and now I really want to keep it. But the journey of building Mirad Studios, even on LinkedIn, I have it that I've been celebrating 1 year. It is, yes, 1 year that I came public with the name and the brand. But I've been doing it for 3 years, like I said, 3 years and a half. Very hardest work, very much learning alone the hard way what it means to be an entrepreneur. Because we think a lot that, I'm going to do business. And you realized, first of all, I'm a creative. Yes, I studied business before and I've always had a passion, but no one really teaches you the reality of doing a business. No one really teaches you the reality of you have to wear 1,000 hats to do one job. You have to fight your own scarcity mindset. You have to fight your own self. You have to fight your own judgment. And there's no one there to motivate you. Suddenly people think, but who do you think you are to do your business? Your friends question your change. Your family thinks you might go bonkers, or they might think you're going to be a millionaire very soon, which is also so far from the reality of when you're just starting a business, that it adds to a lot of pressures on yourself. So I've navigated that time really in silence, and I struggled alone, and I figured it out alone. And I think this is also a very big part of the reason why I've created now NOEMA Network. Because through that time, I realized if I just had the support, if I just had the right education, if I just had the right video, or if I just had the right voice to guide me in that time, it would have made it so much easier. But I didn't have that. So now I want to create that, because this might help someone else during that journey, because I know myself how arduous that journey can be. And what I mean about this different shift of performance, as I said, because I am doing basically Mirad Studios, not just for myself, but very client focused, and is in a way as it should be, because this is why I teach there too. As a storytelling strategist, you need to think about your client, you need to think about your consumer. Because if you're creating beautiful contents, beautiful business, beautiful products, and they don't resonate with your client, or, you know, in this way, the customer, you're not going to do any sales. And at the end of the day, sales is exactly what keeps your business alive and keeps your business going. But then at the same time, I felt I have to perform, right? Not on purpose, but I am performing thinking, this is my client, this is who I have to be, or this is the kind of content I need to create to attract and to speak to my client. And that is Mirad Studios. And that is the persona I had so far. And what I felt recently, as I'm creating NOEMA Network, absolutely different energy. So Mirad Studios, as I said, cautious, silent, client-focused, took time. NOEMA is radical, very experimental, full expression, and liberating. It is liberating because before I thought, oh, who is my consumer? Who will I attract? I thought maybe for a second, obviously, because I have, as a business person, I have to think, who will this be for? And then very focused for conscious leaders. And then that expanded as well through conscious living, because you can't be a conscious leader if you don't actually know about the living part, or if you don't live daily in a conscious way. And then I realized, oh wow, who am I? I'm becoming so much more free and liberated by creating this brand where I just said, I'm going to do this. I realized I need this, and the world needs this more. And the more I am, in a way, cringed by content, and the more I see failure in systems which are designed technically to support us, it just moves me to do this more. And it moves me to do this more completely radically authentic and completely radically honest, to the point that now I want to scrap a little bit away who is this for. Because I am not here to perform. I'm here to really speak. I'm here to, once again, I want to lead by influence, and I want to lead by inspiration. So that means doing the work first, and then if you like it, you like it. If you realize something, you realize something. And if I was able to broaden your vision in a way, or your perspective, then I'm very grateful. And if I wasn't able to do that, then I'm perfectly fine as well. And I feel this is so liberating. I am not performing, I am just simply being. And the only thing I ask actually is that I have a couple of people, of course, I want to interview. Won't be just a solo series. This is a series where I am bringing my conscious contributors in. The only thing I want to ask is that to treat them with respect, and to respectfully listen to their voice and what they have to share. But now when it comes to me, I am freeing myself of people's judgment, because I realized a lot of the judgment is self-projected without knowing. How can you know someone from watching one clip? And of course you can watch and pay attention through time, and then even then you make your own assumptions of who this person may be. But then you really need to be very open in your perspective, so you really don't make the wrong judgment and the wrong assumptions. And this world is made and run in assumptions. So as an overall, I've rambled a bit about, the different energies of performing and radically creating. And yeah, I think I want to say this is not a space about convincing anyone, like I said before, and it's more about to create the space to make other people see differently, and a space to let go. And I was thinking as I was coming in the train today that I want you to feel this liberation as well. So for my contributors coming here, think differently. This is not just a podcast for coming to say what you do or who you are, which is obviously very important. But this is, and I'm trying to give you the space where you can really liberate yourself, where you can authentically speak about your journey, what you stand for, and the real journey of how you got there. Because this will be the radical authenticity that will move things forward. And I realize we might be a little bit ahead of time, but the more I'm starting to see people here and there taking notice, this will soon actually become the trend, even though we're not trying to jump the trends. But next year I have a feeling we're going to move into this. We're going to move into more authentic voices, into conscious ways of doing things, and especially as more of this leadership becomes more negative and the systems are failing us and the leaders are failing us. What are we going to do about it? Are we going to just let that be? I'm not going to just let that be. And this is why I'm calling it a quiet revolution, because I know it will take time, but the more I do it and the more we do it, I know we can build a new era where we are building communities that matter and giving a sanctuary for voices that actually deserve to be heard. And from my own experience as myself as well, I've been, like I said, in silence, and that was a silence for Mirad Studios, but I've also been in a complete silence in my own healing journey, of overcoming the systems, overcoming the world, overcoming myself, so much that now I'm starting to share about that. Now I'm starting to write a book, and even that is in silence. I did say here and there that, I've started to write my book, but that's it. And with time, I will share more of that. But you see, all of that can also help someone else. And I realized if I just withhold this information, then it's almost selfish. Then it's almost an act for my own self. And I realized maybe when I asking myself, why do I need to go through so many hardships, throughout life, and so many trials and so many challenges? And then with time I realized, you know what? Thank you, universe, because now I feel I've made the way. I had the resilience enough to shape the way as well. And if I truly am a leader who wants to lead by inspiration, then I have to act first, and then I have to do it, and then I have to teach later, and I have to inspire later. And how can I do that if I don't share the voice, if I don't speak openly and honestly? And this is what I'm trying to do. And if I'm very honest, this is very new to me. This space, speaking to the camera. As I said, Mirad Studios is my other venture, is a video production company, right, for I call it strategic emotional resonance. But if you think about it, my role for so far and for over a decade has been behind the camera. And for the first time, I'm stepping in front of the camera to then voice out my whole inner world, which I never really shared with anyone before. So it's a bit of a radical change for me as well. But it's a radical change I am not doing publicly, because that's another difference as well with NOEMA Network. I want to build as we go, and I'm very openly telling you that this is in fact the first stage, the stage where I'm also setting the place, setting the foundation. And I said actually in the beginning I want to be doing this series in a way solo, because I realized no one really wants to be the first one. No one really wants to be that, oh, will it be okay? How can I come, in the first season? And I'm calling the brave ones. Come on, brave ones, come in the first season, because it won't be that hard. I am putting myself out here now, even as a solo person, which is so much harder, by the way, than just having a conversation with someone. But honestly now, as even a tip to anyone else, I feel like I'm not speaking to the camera, but I am speaking to someone. I am speaking to you, right? But I am almost envisioning and I'm feeling you. So this is why I'm able to speak to you directly. This is actually the second time I'm filming in the studio. I came last time. It wasn't a great day. Also, it was after traveling, 4:30 a.m. with flight delay, and then I had some bad emails of, again, systems failing us with the bank and a couple of things. And then I just rambled to the camera, and then I thought, oh, it's really good to come and test. But oh my God, can I even do this? And I'm here today to prove to myself that yes, I can, and yes, I will. Because sometimes you just have to keep doing it. It's the same as the business. It's the same as entrepreneurship. When I started my business, do you think I knew what I was doing? I didn't. I knew my why. I think I was always very, very certain on that, which is very good to have. I knew the why of my business. I knew the why of why I want to do it, and my personal why. So I knew that. I didn't know the how. I didn't know how to do it. I just keep searching. And like I said, I did it completely alone. And I realized sometimes people hand you opportunities so easily, and people are still saying, let me think about it. We'll see. But if I had those opportunities like this, an opportunity to actually film in a professional studio and to completely let your voice out and to be whoever you want to be, and the most best person you can be is to be yourself, I would definitely take it. And this is just my honest opinion, because I think as a personal reflection, I was quite proud that I am doing this. And goes back to authenticity again, because if you do what you truly believe in, if you act on your values, if you leave performance to the side and you just freaking be yourself and do it with your why in mind, then you will really feel proud of yourself because you're doing it. And that is so important to acknowledge that. And like I said, it will feel very liberating. So back to the same point and back to the beginning, I'm telling you again, you don't have to prove that you're authentic. You just have to be.